Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to replace dial feet, and this is for retrofitting and repair purposes, and I'm going to be showing off my new product, which is a dial foot guide. And here are the tools required. You can just pause the screen to see what you need. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is get rid of the previous dial feet if you are using a dial that has existing dial feet. Obviously you can skip this if you have just a notch fixation type dial, and the first thing you're going to do is use an end cutter to get rid of the previous dial feet. And that's almost always going to leave some protrusions, which you can see on the dial here. So the next step would just be take a file and simply get rid of those protrusions, make the surface flat just so it doesn't interfere with the movement at all. The next thing you're going to want to do is grab one of my dial feet guides, which I will be putting in the link below. And they're set up so that you put it B side up, and you are going to align the hour hole with the notch at the 3-hour mark. If there's not a notch, you can make one. I'm using a dial that has a date window, so it's pretty easy to see where the 3-hour is. And you can use a scratch tool like I'm showing here, just a simple pointed tool to leave a mark, or you can use a Sharpie. I find the Sharpie is a little easier. So what I'm going to do here is just try to keep it in place as best as possible and put my marks in with the Sharpie. So you can see now you have two perfect marks for where your dial feet are for your specific movement. So the next thing you can do is use a dial foot mill to drill seats into the dial, and this will remove any additional height added by the dial feet that I'm going to use. This is optional. You can just glue on the dial feet, and you just have to take into account the thickness of the dial as well as the thickness of the flange on the dial foot to make sure you have adequate clearance for the hands. You can also use a soldering machine. Those are typically a little more expensive than these mills, and you also have to account for if it's a fragile dial, if you're going to damage the dial with that process. So what I'm doing here is just drilling precisely on the markers, getting rid of the debris with a dust blower, and I'm constantly checking the front of the dial to make sure that I haven't caused any dents or anything like that on the front. So after I'm satisfied with the seats, I'm going to go ahead and get out my dial feet, and you will know which width to use based on the instruction sheet that comes with each set of dial feet guides. So what you're just going to do is super glue onto the seats, get your dial feet, and fix them in as accurately as you can, and just let it dry. After it's dry, you have your dial, and you can fit it into the movement, and it should be all set, and you should be good to go. So again, if you're interested in picking up some of the dial feet guides that'll help you in placing your dial feet in the precise location of hundreds of different movements, check out my eBay link in the description. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps.